I'll let you know in three, two, one. Go for it, dude.
This is PJ Savage, and you're watching the Sign Rip Podcast, and the Sign Rip Podcast just got savage.
Awesome sauce. Welcome, everybody, to episode number 34 of the Sign Rip Podcast with Joey G. I am Joey G. My guest at this time, the one, the only PJ Savage. And as he just mentioned, the podcast is about to get savage today.
Definitely is. Thank you, man. Appreciate you for having me on. It's a pleasure. It's an honor to be on here. Thank you, man. Really, really, really appreciate it.
No problem, man. I appreciate you having you on my podcast, dude. You know?
Thank you.
For those of you who don't know, I've seen PJ wrestle a few times at Invictus Pro Wrestling. Um, he hasn't ripped any of my signs yet, so
Which is surprising, you know. I'm not too much of a nice guy, but I like you though. I've seen you at the shows. You're always respectful. So you're my kind of guy. You're savage. You're savage
all right,
family, as I like to call you guys.
there we go. You know, I'm a fan as well. So first off, PJ, tell me about yourself, man. What have you been up to these days, and what have you been doing lately these days?
Man, it's I'm on a strict diet now. So these past like 2 weeks have kind of been hard. But I'm doing it. That's been my focus. I'm trying to lose a lot of weight. Get down in great in ring condition. Um, Other than that, it's just all wrestling and just getting things done, popping up town to town. This past weekend, I was in Massachusetts on I think Friday, and then Connecticut on Saturday, and then Pennsylvania on Sunday. So the schedule's been pretty full, but you know that's a good problem to have if you're a professional wrestler nowadays.
No, without a doubt, man. Especially since last year it was kind of the scheduling was kind kind of small last year with COVID and everything knocked
Yeah,
everything
kind
around.
of small.
I mean, a lot of
It was
small.
desolate. It was desolate, definitely.
But yeah, man, it's good to see pro wrestling back like in full force with a lot of people getting back on the grind and getting a lot of bookings now again. You know,
Yeah, definitely. And Invictus is a great place too, man. They got a great show coming up, Aftershock, on the 25th of September, and I'm looking forward to that show, man. I'm looking forward to it.
without a doubt, me myself too. You know, I can't wait to get to that show as well. So I will be there, of course. But yeah, but PJ, so first off, man, what got you into professional wrestling as a fan? Because obviously everybody's been a fan first before you know
Yeah,
they decided they want to become a pro wrestler.
yeah, definitely. One of my teachers that taught me how to wrestle, he always put it as it was the next step of evolution. Before you went through the original chart of evolution, where monkey became man and man became wrestler. That's ours, you know. So we was always fans before, and for me, my first ever wrestling event was WrestleMania 10. I was 4 years old. With Bret Hart won the heavyweight title against Yokozuna that night. Never
Nice.
forget it. I remember just watching all the guys just holding Bret Hart on their shoulders, and that was one of the moments that was like, that has to be me one day. One other moment that really, really sticks out was back in like 2001, I believe, or 2000, one of those years, whatever year Triple H came back from the torn quad.
It was
Uh,
2000.
yeah, I was in the garden that night, and that was one
Nice.
of the most electrifying feelings I've ever felt in my life. I don't think I've ever felt anything like that to this day. And just watching them come out in the garden, just going nuts. And I was like, there's 20 plus thousand people in here, all going crazy for this man. And this is something I definitely want to do one day for real. So those are two huge moments in my life right there that influenced me to get on this journey that I'm on now.
Got you. Got you. So I guess you were mentioning Bret Hart being like the first ever. I mean, the WrestleMania being the first ever show you ever went to. So I'm assuming you were a massive Bret Hart fan.
Yeah, man, I was one of those kids like John Cena. Kids have John Cena. Some of the other kids before me had Hulk Hogan. Bret Hart was that guy for me. Like, I was that one little boy that wanted to wear pink and black to go to school, man. Like, Bret Hart was a huge influence on me when it comes to professional wrestling. The fan in me if he's still alive. That fan in me is just all Bret Hart, Bret Hart, Bret Hart, Bret Hart. The sharpshooter, the leg sweeps, everything he did to the pink and black. I always wanted to be that kid that got the glasses in the front row. I would have killed to be that kid one day, but Bret Hart was a huge guy for me, definitely.
Well, I definitely don't have to ask that question now. I was just about to ask if you ever got the sunglasses as a kid at those shows, but you know,
Nah, man, I wish if I did, I'll clip that footage and I'll post it every day, man. But I definitely had the glasses and the foam belts and all that stuff. But Bret Hart was huge for me, man.
yeah, he's the man. That's why he was the excellence of execution.
There you go, the
He was
best there
actually
is, there ever was.
he was definitely one of my favorites growing up too. One of the
Nice.
first big favorites. The match that got me hooked on wrestling with him actually was his cage match with Owen Hart at
Oh,
SummerSlam '94.
that was one hell of a match. That match is one of the best cage matches ever to date. I know as a professional wrestler and me, that's a match that I go back and study, especially like if you're gonna, oh, I'm doing a cage match this weekend. That's probably the first match I pop in just to take some notes from. I mean, CM Punk, I'll out to his shirt right now, but CM Punk pulled a lot of Bret Hart stops out in his match versus Darby Allin this week. I'm sure you've seen it. A lot of people seen it. He took a lot of spots out of the match with Bret and 1-2-3 Kid at the time. Brett's a huge influence. So that cage match is insane. It's one of those things that we always go to the well and go to.
That's awesome, man. I'm glad the Hitman is a big influence on your wrestling, and you were also a massive fan of him growing up. So that's really
Yeah,
cool.
definitely, man.
See, there's another reason why you dig me on here. So
There we go, man. There we go. He's just knocking off all the checklists. So you're just knocking them off right now.
there you go. But tell me, PJ. So obviously being a big fan, Bret Hart and getting to check out Triple H's massive return in Madison Square Garden back in 2002, and that was amazing and everything. What made you say, "Hey, I could do this"?
Yeah, the turning point for me, I've been wrestling for 4 years now, 4 or 5 years, give or take.
Okay,
Just a little backstory on me. I'm from Johnny Rod's WWE Hall of Famer. He trained me. When
nice.
you're over with him and training under him, you're not allowed to do independent shows. You're not allowed to like go out. You're only doing his shows and his training. He doesn't want too many cooks in the kitchen. The pandemic kind of forced me to leave, but like the first 3 4 years, I was just there, grinding the whole time. And right before, I want to say it was like Death Before Dishonor. It was probably like 2016, 2015, one of those years, whatever year Jay Lethal beat Jay Briscoe for the ROH title.
Okay,
Um, that was like a huge influence for me for some reason. I just remember being so hyped up for that match. I remember just wanting to watch that pay per view, um, just being so into it, and then thinking to myself like, "This is Jay Lethal. This is a guy who was Black Machismo in TNA. He's not supposed to be a main event guy. No one ever looked at him like that. And here he is carrying the torch for a company. And then you had Jay Briscoe, just like he was just a dog. He was just a fighter. And I was just like so enthralled with it. And those were one of the moments where it was like, this isn't WWE. This isn't a big wrestling company. This isn't even New Japan, even though they had ties with New Japan. But you could be a huge influence on the wrestling business at any level if you care about it and you want to put the passion into it and somebody invests in you like they invest in Jay Lethal and Jay Briscoe for that whole feud leading up. And that was the moment where it was kind of like that coming to moment where it was like, if they can do it, I can do this. And I placed a call. I looked around for some schools because I'm from New York. Um, and I found two schools. I found House of Glory and I found Johnny Rod's. And it was kind of like a no-brainer for me if I want to tell my story and I want my documentary to mean something one day, to say trained by WWE Hall of Famer, the same guy that trained the Dudleys, same guy that trained Taz and Tommy Dreamer, to align myself with those guys and put my name in those record books. Why not? And I remember going to him that first day and I was there from 10 o'clock in the morning to like 11 o'clock at night, just
nice.
talking to him about the business, talking to him about wrestling, talking to him about passion, and it wasn't hard. It was easy. It was the easiest thing. Like this is hard for some wrestlers to sit down and talk about wrestling. It's not. It's easy for me. I love it. This is what I love. This is what I live for. It's what I'm bred for. I've watched this since I was a kid, just like you. And wrestling's my everyday life. So sitting in that office with Johnny Rods, that was like amazing. It was the coming to, and it was like there's no turning back after this one. So that day I walked into Johnny Rods, that's it. PJ Savage was born.
Nice. Now, how's the training thing going, Johnny Rods' school? Because you were obviously saying there was no there's you only trained with him for the while,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I
So
like. Oh, okay.
go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna ask, is there like does he want you to like learn the basics first? Like, are you not allowed to wrestle in the ring for a full year first? Like, because I know different people have had different schools that they've been on, and they've all had different ways of being trained. I was just curious how his was.
No, yeah, definitely. Johnny Rods is very old school in the way he teaches. Um, he's hands on. The first day that you get there, you got to roll, you got to take bumps, you got to learn how to do everything, and you do that for a long time. It really just like depends on your skill level and how comfortable you are, and how confident you are in your ability. That's a confidence is a big percentage of becoming a professional wrestler. You have a lot of people's like, can I do a suplex? Can I do a body slam? And it's like, I remember the first body slam I took and the first suplex I took, the guy that was giving it to me, yeah, asked me, he goes, you ever took this before, kid? It's like, yeah, I took it before. Yeah. Yeah. Cause I just wanted him to give it to me. I didn't want him to be like, oh, you've never done this before, so maybe not yet. But the confidence of just taking the bumps and falling, that was just, you have to have that. Um, but that he trains you like that, rolls, bumps, running the ropes, learning from other teachers that he has coming in and day out. There's a bunch of people that come through that door. Some of the greatest trainers I've ever worked with in Flex, Dones is still on the indie scene right now. Mark Viola, Cowboy, Bad Billy Walker, Matt Striker's always there. Devon's there sometimes, and Johnny Rods himself. So it's like there's a huge learning tree to learn from there. Then he runs shows every 6 weeks. You wish there was sooner. You wish there were every month. Being a wrestler, you want to work in front of a crowd. That's the biggest difference between being an indie wrestler now and just being with Johnny. But you train for those 6 weeks for that one show, and that was your payoff. There was no storylines. There was no gimmicks. He never liked you naming yourself. The PJ Savage thing wasn't even me. I had wore a Savage shirt to the ring one day, and he was like, "That sticks, Ba. That sticks. They're gonna call you PJ Savage." And then he wanted to change it to PJ Wildman, and I was like, "No, no, no. Let's just stick to Savage." But he's real old school in the way he does things. But God bless him. That man's amazing. Like I said though, you when you're there, you have to only be there. So during the pandemic, I made the decision to leave and hit the independent scene and become an indie wrestler full time. And man, it's been the best 6 7 months. I've only been on the scene for 6 7 months now, and I'm glad I did this. I'm very happy I became an independent wrestler.
Without a doubt, man. You've definitely entertained us at a few shows. I mean, at the few Invictus shows I've seen you wrestle at, I've definitely been entertained. You know,
Man, appreciate it, man. Truly.
without a doubt. So what was the nerves like for your first ever match? Because obviously, I don't know who I had on a podcast that said, I think it was like Alec Price. He mentioned that if you're not nervous that first night getting ready for that match, then there's something wrong with you. I think it was Price. I'm not sure who I had.
Uh, I mean, jeez, like I was so hyped up and didn't know what to expect because it was gonna be a Laboom. My debut
Okay.
was in Laboom in Queens, and I was probably a month in, and my first in ring debut. Uh, so and it was gonna be like a tag team match, and I was just like, I was, I was, I would probably say I was more calm than usual. Wasn't really too nervous with it. I
Okay.
guess it was just the adrenaline. I just think it was just everything going on. It was like I want to go out there and get this done. And the way Johnny trains you, it's not really like a lot of guys the way they go over their indie matches and their matches in general. It's like they plan out everything spot for spot, and the way Johnny kind of teaches you is a lot of almost 90% of what you do in that ring is improvise. You don't talk about it in the back. You don't go through it with the other guy. Some guys even now to this day are a little like they get a little nervous when they know they're wrestling because a lot of times I just tell them I was like, we'll call it in the ring. We'll come up with some over there, and they're just like, what? I don't do that. I've never done that before. This
All
is
right.
scary. I don't know. I'm like, don't worry about it, man. We'll just figure something out. And I just have more fun like that, man. You know, you don't have to worry about anything. I just got to know what the go home cue is, and just have fun and play around. Stone Cold said it best, man. He was like him and Triple H used to wrestle, and at the house shows, just find the hottest chick in the crowd and throw me to her in the front row, so I go hang out over there and just have some fun, put some heat on me. You know, like that. That's a good match, man. That's a good match. You don't have to worry about things. But as far as nerves go for that first debut, I mean, obviously there was some nerves. It was like, this is me becoming a wrestler. But the moment I got behind that curtain in what they call gorilla position, man, I've never felt at home before as much as I did that day, and every single time after that, it's been amazing. I would probably say if I had to pick and choose, the one time I got the most nervous was the first time I worked the ECW arena,
Okay.
and right there, like right to your right of Gorillas, where Paul Heyman did the famous speech, and it's like looking up there, and it's like I never felt so close to the history before, like I did at that moment. And the ECW arena is amazing. It's like walking. It looks like a little mini Monday Night Raw set, and the lights and the cameras and everything. So it could be a little intimidating, but man, as far as nerves go, I'm not one that gets too nervous. You get a little bit nervous once that you can just stand behind the curtain, but once the music hits, man, it's over.
No, I got you on that. I could see that. Like, obviously, maybe the first few being a little different, but when you get to the ECW arena, because you're in an arena that's got like all that history of wrestling, so it's a really big deal for you. I get it.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
I totally get that. So, but yeah. So, how'd you end up linking up with Invictus Pro Wrestling?
Like I said, I've been on the indie scene for about 6 months, and I wanted to hit it hard. New York is obviously shut down, so there's no independent promotions in New York that's running. You got a few schools that are running, but that's what they are. They're schools. They're not really independent promotions. They're not like just a bunch of indie guys on one show. It's, hey, come train here, be one of our guys, and then we'll put you on your show. And, go from there. Which is like, it's not like Invictus. Like Invictus, I reached out to Invictus, said I wanted to be a part of what you guys were doing. I saw their shows. I saw that what they were doing, the guys that they were bringing in, the matches, the guys like Gio was having, um, Mojo and Wrecking Ball, and I saw what those guys were doing, and I want to be respected like those guys. I want to be looked at like those guys. I'm on that level. Um, so I saw what they were doing. I reached out to a couple guys who I knew that were involved with Invictus. They pointed me in the right direction, and there was some feelers. I know the head of Invictus, Alex. He came out to one of my shows I was doing. Over at Titan Championship Wrestling. He came over to see me, check me out, and I guess he liked what he saw. He put me on the next show that they were having. Said, "You want to join Sin?" And I was like, "Man, I'll do anything. I just get my foot in the door, and I get to punch people in the face, and eat people's teeth out. That's exactly what I'm here for, man." And man, it's been great with Invictus and getting hooked up with them. I'm pretty lucky to be with them, and like I said, being out here for 6 months that I've been out here for, and it's I've probably been with close to 16, 17 wrestling promotions, and Invictus is definitely one of my favorite promotions to work with.
That is awesome. And your first Invictus match, I know you were teaming up with the Danger Hawk, Dennis Morgan.
My man Dennis, I love Dennis.
I love Dennis too, man. He's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty unfortunate what happened to him, but he's a good brother, man. And that arm's gonna heal up, and then we're gonna be tagging again and taking down everybody. And that's the one thing I like about Dennis, man. Yeah, we want to make a statement, but like I'm one of those guys. It's not about the wins and the losses. It's about if you remember me after I left that arena. If by the time I'm walking out that curtain, you go, I remember PJ Savage. I want to take a picture with him. I want to 8x10. I want to follow him on Instagram. I want to see what he says on Twitter. That my job's accomplished. And he's one of those guys we think on the same level with. It's just like show up and make an impact. And it was like that's why that first match that we had that we ended up actually losing because of the dive. And it was like, let's just get back in the ring and just tear off everybody's heads. Why not? Form
Oh,
sin in front of everybody. And it was just that was a great moment, man. It was cool. Love you,
I like.
Dennis.
Yes, Dennis. Shout out to Dennis Morgan. You know,
Definitely.
still healing up the arm, but I think right now he's doing well. Even
Yeah, definitely.
even with the broken wing of the Danger
Yeah,
Hawk.
yeah, yeah. I think it's gonna be on commentary on the 25th, so it's gonna be interesting.
Awesome. So you definitely had a lot of people talking. I know after their the more recent Invictus show you just did, the one in Ossining, New York, which was cool because
That was awesome.
I know you were in the Battle Royal, and me and my friends, we were all sitting, we were still talking about you even after the Battle Royal was over, because like you said, even though you didn't win it, we were still talking about you the whole throughout the match, like because you were like brutalizing like everybody, like.
I love Rumbles, man. I love Rumbles. Rumbles are great, man, because a lot of the time, especially when I get in the Rumble, a lot of the time guys are so tired that they're just gonna sit their little butts down in the corner and try to hide from people. But that's like my go-to move. My knee, my savage knee, that's so if anybody's sitting there, it's gonna be a knee party and everybody's gonna get a taste of it. So the Rumbles are great, man. But I can't wait to have that singles match in Invictus. I really want to show you guys, and the fan base of Invictus is there. They have a strong fan base. Um, but I want to show that locker room. I want to show Alex. I want to show everybody in charge of Invictus. I want to show everybody who follows Invictus that I'm a player. I'm not just another guy. I'm not just somebody that you put on the poster. I'm not just somebody you say, oh, he's wrestling here too. No, I'm somebody you put the foundation on. I'm somebody you build the brand on. I'm somebody in 1 year's time, 6 months' time, that all these Invictus shows, I'm gonna lay groundwork to be the face of Invictus. Like that's the kind of guy I am. And I have this match coming up against a good friend of mine. Trained together, Jay Bougie. A lot of people hate him, rightfully so. He doesn't shut up. Um, but that's a singles match, and we know each other very well. So this one's going to be interesting. He knows what I can do in the ring. I know what he can do in the ring. He knows how to get out of everything I can do. We both trained at Johnny's. I know how to get out of everything he can do. So this is the match I've been waiting for. And that first strike match, they put me on first. That I get to set that show on fire. I'm gonna blow the roof off that pace. So if everybody wants to see the best match tonight, it's gonna be the first one. I don't care who else is on this card. There's a lot of amazing matches on this card. You got KC versus Man of Steel. You got Broadway. You got versus GL. You got Broadway versus not Broadway. Big Game Leroy versus Danhausen. This match is gonna. This whole card is gonna be memorable. But I'm gonna set the tone with that first match. I don't know if it's gonna be matched. So you better get there early. Everybody better get there early because this is gonna be one to watch. I promise you.
And I like hearing that with the first match of the night that you want to set that tone right off the bat, because it's funny how some people who watch wrestling will complain, like, and I'm not saying this because I have no issue with this at all. Like, I know some people who will complain about, like, oh god, of course they're going to put the weakest match on the card first.
Yeah.
Like, in my opinion, that first match could never be considered the weakest match on the card. That could be the match that gets the show going right off the bat.
Yeah,
You want
it
to
could be the
start strong.
it could be the show stealer, and that's essentially what it is. It's starting strong, and I mean I gotta look at it and I gotta be honest. Like out of everybody on that card, I'm probably one of the most unknowns. You know, There's Geo. He's been killing it in Invictus. Mojo, Wrecking Ball. All these guys killing it in Invictus. They've been doing it for months, almost a year now. It's coming up on the year anniversary for Invictus. And these guys have been there since the beginning, and I'm that new guy that's coming up. But that's what fuels me, man. Like that's that chip on my shoulder, right? It's like, oh, he's unknown. What can he do? Put him on first. We'll see what he do. I'm gonna blow the roof off that place. I'm gonna break that ring with the first match. I'm gonna make so everyone's soul just drained out that match. I'm gonna be the only thing they talk about after that show. And I'm coming in on the 25th to make the biggest statement I've made since I hit the indie scene. Promise you that.
Without a doubt. I like that. That fuels you. It's like it fills you up with gasoline, and you want to just set that fire higher. I get it.
Yeah, man, we're gonna burn that place down. That's what we're gonna do.
Of course, man. It's definitely looking to be a really awesome show. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
definitely.
So, but going forward, PJ, I got a bunch of questions from some people, if you don't mind.
Ah, man, ask away, man. That's why we're here.
Already. This first one comes from Terry Duffy, and he asks this on every single one of my podcasts all the time. He asks, if you could create a custom title, what would it look like, and what kind of match would you defend it in?
Oh, that's awesome. If I could create a custom title, what would it look like? It would probably look like the undisputed title. It's one of my
Okay.
favorite looking belts. Probably with a little savage s coming up like that. Little something there just to give it like the wing eagle look. It's one of my favorite belts too. So a little marriage between those. And this is something I guess we're gonna drop it here first, man. I'm dying to have a Savage Asylum match, and I want that to be one of the things that's my coin, the Savage Asylum match. And who knows what that match can be? It could be a cage match just with a bunch of weapons in it. It could be it could be anything. But I want to have the Savage Asylum match, and the first day that match actually happens, then you'll see what it looks like. But I do have this beautiful picture in my head of what this savageness can look like. But definitely, I would definitely have that belt look like that, and have it done in the Savage Asylum match. There we go, baby.
I like that. I dig that. Savage Asylum match. I got. You obviously have a picture on how you would like it to be. I got a picture of myself, so it could be anything. So that's great.
There we
That's
go.
cool.
You see, that's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of it. And then we can take whatever good ideas you have and put it into it, man. That's the beauty of it.
There you go, man. It could be anything. So
There you
I
go.
like it. The next question is from Don Kincaid.
Yeah.
Don asks, I
Ah,
think you
Don. Love you, Don.
Don asks, how's your experience been working for so many new promotions as of late? Also, Jay Bougie is a bit. I think he's got. I think he's got some bad words for Jay Bougie.
Oh man, that's the perfect word to describe him too. Jay. There we go. Just leave it at that. That's there we go. That's the name now. But as far as my experiences go at all these new promotions, I mean, with the pandemic, it's been a blessing that I got into it right as the pandemic kicked in because I've been a part of every new startup company that's been starting up and wanting to come out. I think the only one I haven't been a part of is GSW. What are you doing, guys? What are you waiting for? You need a savage down there. But other than that, man, it's been beautiful. It's been awesome working at every single one of these promotions. It's been a great experience learning from all these guys and sharing locker rooms with guys and being seeing who owns these places and how they work them. And especially with them being new, because a lot of those guys have done stuff previously. They've worked with Evolve or they've worked with WWE in some capacity, or AEW, and then they're coming out and trying to lay work because the Northeast and the East Coast can be the best independent scene there is in the world. Right now, there's no lying that it is the West Coast. The West Coast is the top independent promotion scene right now, just with Defy and PWG, Bar Wrestling, all those companies over there. They're on fire on the West Coast, and right now New York and the Northeast is just upstarting. It's like coming to, and it's great because I'm at the foundation of all of it. All these companies are running their first shows. I was just on a Connecticut show and PAPW, and I was a part of their first Fight TV pay per view. And
Paradise
so
Alley Pro Wrestling, right?
yeah, and
I know
that was a
that one.
huge experience being down there with Paul Roma and Mario and being in that locker room with Richard Holiday and sharing those stories. Um, but being a part of it, like there's another company called Upper Limit Wrestling, and being a part of Upper Limit Wrestling, they're very brand new. Their second show's coming up in 2 weeks, I believe. So that's another place that I'm excited to be a part of. Sanctuary Wrestling. Sanctuary Wrestling isn't new. They've been around for ages, but they just restarted up. And to be a part of season 10, such a grand season, being in there with Ace Austin and wrestling all these guys that I know and grew up with, it's awesome, man. Being a part of this indie scene. Yeah,
And the
West Coast might
sanctuary,
have it right now, but this is just the beginning. The East Coast is gonna blow this one up.
and the sanctuary one, that's the ring that's inside the church, right?
Yeah, man, it's a great look, man. It's a great look.
I remember seeing that in one of the promos Dennis did a while back
Yeah,
with
yeah.
leading up to Empire Rising. And I
That's
was
the
so
the. I'm sorry to cut you off, but that's the promo I debuted in.
yes.
I don't speak. I just like get angry and throw chairs.
I loved it, man. And I loved everything about it because here's Dennis. He's just walking up to a church and it was completely blowing me away because I had no idea about the sanctuary up until that video itself.
There it goes. That's awesome.
So and I got confused because I was showing my boy Billy and I'm like, whoa, does this dude Savage like own the church? I thought it was like your house for a second when we were
Oh man, hey, that's a topic for another day because Ace Austin thinks it's his house. I'll let him think that for now. Soon it'll be my house. But Sanctuary is a beautiful place. It's a great place to work. Fun fact: everybody in Sin besides Danger Hog, we're all Sanctuary born and raised over there. So we're kind of Sanctuary guys. So I think that's what kind of made sense with Danger walking into the Sanctuary and following a brotherhood now because that's what we are over at the Sanctuary. Everybody's a big old family, a big old brotherhood, and Dennis fits right into all of that.
Yeah, I definitely digged it. I loved it. So
That's
I
awesome.
definitely want to try to get out there one day for a show over there.
Yeah, man. They stream every show. They run every week. Their main storylines every 2 weeks. They have a main show called Fight Club. It's every 2 weeks. I'm a part of it every 2 weeks. It streams live on Facebook. You can check it out over there and check out my Instagram. All the posts go up from Sanctuary.
Without a doubt. So my next question, DJ, is from Alex Aceta. So Alex asks, "What's the most savage thing you've ever done inside and outside the ring?"
Oh man, he's getting there. He's digging deep in there. Oh man. Honestly, I want to say this right now. The most savage thing has yet to be seen. It's coming though. And it will happen. Maybe it'll happen on the 25th. We'll see. We'll see. As far as like outside the ring, man, I don't know if I could say that on air. But look, let's just say there's more to the name Savage. Yeah, Ward on a shirt, but there's a lot more to that name. It's something that all my friends used to call me. It was why I had the shirt. Um, but we're gonna save that. We have something. You know what? I guess I'll give the Sign Rip podcast a little exclusive.
Okay.
There's gonna be a mini doc coming out, the Savage series, and it's coming out soon. It's gonna be 10 mini episodes, detailing who I am, what I am, a lot of character work, and a lot of who I truly am will be into this. So we're gonna save that for the Savage series.
All right. That's awesome.
There we go.
I cannot wait to check that out.
Awesome, awesome. Can't wait, man.
My next question is actually from Jay Bougie. You know, his question is, how many theme songs does Savage have?
Oh God, he had to go there, didn't he? He had to go there. All right, Jay Bougie. It look like I said, we've grown up together in this business. We trained since day one in this business, and dare I say, I had a heavy hand in training him. He'll tell you I'm one of the guys that took under my wing because I was about a year and a half in when he first started, and he was kind of doing some stupid stuff you shouldn't do,
Okay.
and I kind of big brothered him and was like, no. And now I'm not as big brother now. We're brothers, but that's what kind of like gives that conflict when it comes to the 25th of what we got to do. But as far as the theme songs go, I was always a guy. I'm a huge stickler for theme songs, right? So I always want to stick to one. but that's
Gotcha.
never the case for me, you know. So I had one. It was Dead by April, Losing You. Amazing song. I was into Seth Rollins at the time, and I know he had Dead by April, Day of Tomorrow. It's his theme song. If you go listen to the two songs, you hear it. But I was into Dead by April, and Losing You was my first theme song. But then I was wrestling Bobby Lashley, and I'm a huge Skillet fan. I love Skillet. Into Skillet, been into Skillet for a long time. And the Resistance, where it talks just about being an army of yourself and putting it all on your back and overcoming the odds. And I felt like when I got the Bobby Lashley match, it was kind of me representing the locker room, and I had to stand up and rise for all of us. So it was symbolic. Um, and then there was a couple more in there that was like, should this be my theme song? Should it not? And I was gonna keep the Resistance when I left Johnny Rods, but then it was just like, nah, that was theirs. Let's start a new one. So then I started coming out to Shine Down, the Devil, and that song. Everybody gets into that song when they hear it. The drums hit. It's so cool. I'm a mark for music, especially Shine Down. And now I officially got my own theme song. Now you can go check it out on YouTube. PJ Savage theme song. Had it made with a friend of mine. So I've had about five, John. Five. All right. You've had about 17. Just yours
Oh,
aren't as respected as mine. All right. I put some respect on my theme song.
it's funny actually. I just saw him recently at a Test of Strength show, and he ripped up my sign at the show. Actually, he ripped my sign up because it wasn't even a Jay Bougie sucks sign. It was for his partner Dan the Man. It said
Oh, of
Dan
course.
the Jackass, and
Uh,
he didn't like my sign, I guess, so he ripped it up, and then he proceeded to stuff it in my hat back on my head.
oh man, you see, this is what brings the interesting dynamic with me and John. You know, when guys see me, when I come out to a curtain, a lot of the people in the crowd they just think bad guy. He's a heel. He's someone I gotta hate. But I always end up getting like cheered and loved and getting those savage chants. And then John, it was kind of the opposite when he first started. It was like, oh, everybody's gonna love him, and then everybody hated him because it's this little guy doesn't shut up, and he's got a huge chip on his shoulder, and it's there, rightfully so. But a lot of people don't like that chip on the shoulder, and I know why it's there. I know what goes into that chip. He knows what goes into the chip on my shoulder. We're both out to prove something,
I
and
got you.
we're gonna prove it on the 25th. I'm gonna whip his
I,
ass, but we're gonna prove it.
I believe it. I'm sorry, I'm just still thinking about that from that last Test of Strength show, and all I could. Not only that, he also busted on my friend Terry too.
Of
Because
course.
Terry was booing him too, and the way he kind of responded to Terry was like, you know what, you're Terry, but instead of with one Y, it's two Y's. And
That's what I mean. That's Jay Bougie at its finest. He's just bougie. He does whatever he wants and says whatever he wants. He says the sky is green. It's green with two ends. There he goes.
it
That's
was,
John.
you know. Um, my next question is from Simon. Um, okay, I got myself together. My next question is from Simon. Simon asks, I think we already went through over this, but he was like, "Who was your favorite wrestler when you were growing up, and have you wrestled against him or her?" So obviously,
Yeah, no, it was Bret Hart growing up. And Triple H was a close second. Stone Cold, of course. I grew up during the Attitude Era, but I haven't had the chance to wrestle any of my idols yet. One dude I did look up to that I did have the match against was Bobby Lashley, current WWE champion. Uh, Ever since that day, he was always cool to me. Good friend, gave me his number, shared text messages. He's a great guy. He gave me a lot of advice. Highly respect Bobby Lashley and what he does, and one day I'm gonna repay him for that spear that he gave me through the barricade. He's gonna get one
okay,
back. So there's a receipt coming his way.
all right. There you go, Simon. Next question is from Anthony. Anthony asks, "Why are your pajamas savage?"
Everything about me is savage, down to the t-shirt, the pants, the socks, the pajamas, the food I eat. Everything is savage. That's why it's savage. There we go.
All right. There you go, Anthony. My next question is from Matt. Matt asks, do you play video games? And if you do, what's your favorite video game?
Oh man, Matt, I like you. I like you, brother. I am a father, so I have 4 kids.
Okay.
Being a dad is the greatest thing I've ever done in my life, besides being a wrestler. Um, it's hard for me to play my games. I am also a full time wrestler, so it's hard, especially when you're a full time wrestler. And I'm not from any school that's helping me get bookings. I'm by myself. I'm truly, truly independent. Getting onto podcasts, getting onto shows, getting onto posters, everything is all me. Everything you see that has to do with me, it's me, and it's self worked and it's gotten on my own. But man, I am a huge gamer. If you guys want to check me out, hit me up. Send me a friend request on Xbox and PlayStation. I have both systems. Um, Xbox is X Factor 126 TH. Um, on PlayStation is Savage 126 underscore. Man, get at me. I play all these games. I'm into all the sports games, MLB The Show, Madden. Into all the first person shooters, Call of Duty, Battlefields, Halos. I play everything, even the obscure like indie games. If I have time to play, I'm gonna play them, man. I got a Switch just so I could play Hades because I wasn't a PC gamer. So I'm a console gamer. Love my games. Hit me up on Xbox and PlayStation, man. I'm always ready. We'll stream together, whatever it is you want to do. Let's get down.
All right. There you go. You can find them on Xbox or PlayStation or
Yes,
if
sir.
on Switch with the friend code. So
Yeah, yeah.
definitely gotta
I don't even know how that works, but definitely you get me on Switch too.
I'm gonna definitely add Xbox once this is done. That's for sure. Um, the next question is from Billy. Billy asks, so since you're Savage and the Yankees are Savages in the box, who's your favorite Yankee today? And
Oh man.
also
Say
would
again?
you ever? I'm sorry. Okay, yeah. So since you're a Savage and the Yankees are Savages in the box, who's your favorite Yankee today?
There's no second part to that?
Oh, his second question was also would you ever consider wrestling for Tested Strength Wrestling?
Oh, okay. All right. So for two-parter. Let's so yes, I'm a huge Yankee fan. Um Seriously huge Yankee fan. And whoever that is,
Perfect.
Billy. Hey, there we go. There we go, baby. Right now, currently, my favorite player is Aaron Judge. John Carlos is a close second, man, but Judge is just he's the future, man. He's a future cat. Um, but my favorite Yankee of all time is Derek Jeter. Derek Jeter. I model my career at the Derek Jeter. He's a constant professional. When I get to whatever big company I get to sign that contract, I want to model my career after Derek Jeter and what he represented inside the game and outside. So a lot of what you see the professional PJ Savage is, it comes from Derek Jeter, man. So I'm Yankee. I bleed pinstripes. I love going to Massachusetts shows and just going with my Yankee hat on so all the Boston people can hate me. But yeah, man, huge Yankee fan. And as far as test of strength goes, they know where to find me. If they ever want me at test of strength, man, I've wanted to lock horns with Skyros, Mikey Skyros. He's a good guy inside and outside that ring. I would love to lock horns with him one day. Bobby Ocean would love to get in the ring with him. There's a lot of talent out there in over at TOS, and I'll be one of those guys that just I would love to come and just blow the roof of that place too. They know where to find me, man. Hit my inbox. You want me there? You need a Savage? I'll be there, man. That's the one thing about me. You need me? I'm there. You want me? I'm there. I'll go anywhere I'm wanted. So if you want me to be there, I will be a part of that Test of Strength family and really get it in.
Without a doubt, man. I definitely know he'd be over as hell there. I could definitely say that.
Let's get it done, baby. You gotta talk to your people, baby. You gotta talk to your people.
I'll try to talk to some people. I mean, it's not obviously my promotion, but I'll definitely give it a look. I'll
I'm
talk to some
messing with
people.
you, man.
But then the Yankee stuff, yeah, man, I'm a massive Yankees fan myself. See, I knew there's like 100 reasons why I like you because Judge is my favorite today. Jeter
Hey,
was my all-time favorite. So I was
look at
actually
that.
just at a Yankees game actually yesterday. Unfortunately, they lost 8-0, but
That game didn't happen. That didn't
that,
exist. That game didn't happen.
so
What's this? I think the game's on right now. I don't even know what score it is. But yeah, I'm a huge Yankee fan. I love the Yankees, man. My whole household is like Yankee fans, and man, it's we bleed pinstripes, man. Love the
there we
Yankees.
go. So the next question is from Phil. It's a pretty simple question. Phil asks, "What's your favorite food?"
Oh man, I love me a steak, man. Steak is my like go-to. But I am a true and true New Yorker, and there's nothing like a New York slice of pizza. There's
Yes,
nothing like it, man. So if I gotta cheat and say I got two. It's a big juicy steak, but I would settle for New York cheese pizza, cheese slice, pepperoni, whatever you want to throw. Just a New York slice, man. Yeah, man. So just those two things are definitely my favorite foods.
gotcha. Oh, Phil actually, no, not Phil. I had another question from Josh. It's actually a follow-up kind of to Phil's question, which is ironic. I didn't even put these together. Josh, it was actually a question about pizza. Josh asked, "Do you believe pineapple belongs on pizza?"
Oh man. Oh man, I'm one of those people. I tried it once, man, and I gotta say, it wasn't that bad.
Okay,
What am I gonna go out and order myself a pineapple pizza? No, no, I'm not gonna order it and put it on some pizza. But I gotta admit, maybe just because I like pineapple, it wasn't that bad. But it probably doesn't belong on pizza if we gotta be honest.
I got you. You know, everybody has different, views on it. Some people
Hey,
despise it completely.
if I could say one thing, I would probably argue broccoli doesn't belong on pizza, and I see broccoli on pizza all the time. I'd take some pineapple on a pizza more than a piece of some broccoli on a pizza. You can get that out of here.
All right, I got you on that. Since we're on the topic, what is your favorite topping on it?
Oh man, pepperoni. I'm a New York slice guy, man, and a New York slice guy is only two pizzas, cheese and pepperoni.
I
What you
got
gonna
you.
come in and get, man? So those, I would say pepperoni for sure.
All right, all right. You can respect that. I dig pepperoni too. Um, so yeah, my last question is from Ari. Ari asks, "What's your favorite movie of all time?"
Oh, oh, oh man. I have like a simple, just like it might be nerdy. Some people might consider this one nerdy, but my go-to is Lord of the Rings. I love
All
Lord of
right,
the Rings, man. I'm a huge Lord of the Rings fan, a huge Game of Thrones person. I love Game of Thrones. I love The Witcher. I love all that medieval stuff. Um, but yeah, Lord of the Rings, man. I remember being young and being like 10, 11 years old when it first came out. And those movies were like when the Marvel movies came out, those were the same hype when those like Lord of the Ring movies was coming out. So I was heavily influenced by it. Ended up reading all the books, and it got me into Game of Thrones. So Lord of the Rings would probably be my all-time favorite movie.
there you go. And now I have a question. I usually ask this question of people if they have a good idea on the history of wrestling. And since I know you definitely know about the Bret Hart era and stuff, this is an interesting question I ask people because my coworker asked me this hilarious question one day at work about the 1993 Royal Rumble, and I think you might be able to maybe guess on it pretty well. Um, so he asked me, he hit me with a trivia question. My coworker Frank, he's my buddy at work. He loves wrestling too, more like the old school stuff. But you know, he came up with a crazy like trivia question about the 1993 Royal Rumble.
Hmm.
How many eye rakes were there in the 1993 Royal Rumble?
Oh man, eye rakes are a go-to inside of a Rumble. Oh man, I don't know. I want to say 25.
We'll go with 25,
I'm gonna
maybe.
go with 25.
Okay. Like we don't have a set number because the funniest thing, the funniest thing about this PJ is that I've tried to do the research on it.
There's no way.
I know I got a little notepad. I'll be like, it's like, all right, let's see. Oh, there's an eye rake. you know, you look down for a second. Next thing you know, somebody else is doing an eye rake, and it's like you're losing track of it. And you're like, wait a minute, what's going on? I tried like 4 or 5 times to get an accurate number.
Oh man. And the 1993 one is such like an obscure one too. Who won that Rumble?
Yokozuna won that Rumble.
There we go. There we go. Yeah.
He last eliminated Macho Man Randy Savage. I remember that. I remember who won. Just don't know.
The 94 Rumble was the one where Brett and Luger both had the simultaneous one.
Yep.
That was the 94. And the night, yeah. I might go back and watch this Rumble right after this just to count the eye rakes. I swear to you. Give me any reason to watch wrestling and I'm going to watch it. So
all right.
I definitely might do that and get back to you and see if I can count them out.
Hell yeah, dude.
Let's do it.
So, all right. PJ, thank you so much today for joining me on the Sign Rip podcast with Joey G today. You got any social media links you want to drop?
Hey, man, you can catch me at PJ Savage _ on everything. It's on Instagram, Twitter. PJ Savage is on YouTube. www.prowrestlingtees.com/PJ Savage. You want to look like a savage, go get one of them t-shirts. Yeah, man, just find me at PJ Savage. I'm interactive. I talk to everybody. One thing about me being a wrestler, it's all about the fan base. It's all about you guys, the creators, the podcast guys. You guys are just as important as the wrestlers are to wrestling. The fans in arenas tell it all. Look it all out this weekend. Like that. If it wasn't for the fans, those moments wouldn't be the same. So everything you guys do, man, you guys are the best fan base there is in the world. Seeing you guys in the crowd every weekend. You though are no longer a fan to me. You are family. You are Savage family. You're close. I got you. I'm gonna give you something come Invictus when I see you out in the crowd. So I'll definitely see you there at the show. But I appreciate what you're doing, man, with this podcast and giving us wrestlers another platform to speak and to talk. And maybe you should have Jay Bougie on. Maybe he could tell his little side of the story before the
I think I'll get him on at some point, you know.
Yeah, I think you do.
Interacting a lot at TOS. TOS lately butting heads a lot at TOS. So I think at some point I'll
have to.
I'll put my pride to the side and get him on.
just be forewarned. That podcast might be 3 hours because that boy liked to talk about himself.
And he talks about saying that I never shut up. But PJ, thank you so much for coming on today. I really do appreciate it. It means a lot to me, and I hope you had a blast just like I did having this. This was actually, I'm like, no joke. I mean, I've had a bunch of people on my podcast. This definitely might have been one of my funnest I've ever had on. You know,
man, I appreciate you, man, and that's what I love about this, man. I get to show people who I am, promote what I'm doing, talk about what I'm doing, talk about Invictus, but get to interact with you guys, and you guys can really know who I am, and that's what's going to create that bond going forward, you know, because I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to be on the scene for a long time, and I'm going to be on your TV one day, so
without it. Oh, and I got to say, I got to thank somebody that you've been on their podcast before who kind of got me to like research you. Justin Del Rio, who runs the Nerds of Wrestling, man. I love him so much. He hit me up and told me to get you on the podcast. And I remember a while back I messaged you, and then I got completely lost with everything going on in the summer. But I'm glad I got back to getting you on, because this is definitely a fun experience to have you on.
Man, huge shout out to Justin. Being on What's Up Wrestler, Nerds of Wrestling was one of my best experiences on a podcast. And same here with the Sign Rip podcast, man. Sign Rip podcast just got savage.
I appreciate that so much. Thank you.
Definitely.
So, no problem, man. So thank you all for enjoying this episode of the Sign Rip podcast with Joey G. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I hope you all have a great night.